Hi again, and welcome to this episode of Life with Leif. Today I want to talk about stories. Why do I want to talk about stories? Well, I was talking with someone and we were mentioning, talking with someone who I went to grad school with, and we were mentioning an old test that we were trained on, and it's called the TMAS, the Tell Me a Story test, okay? Where you give people these cards with pictures on them, and they have to tell you a story. They have to make up a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end to that story. Why is that here in this video where I'm talking about better? Well, one of the things I think about is when I meet people, when I talk to people, they tell me, I should say, their story. They tell me who the main character is. They tell me who the bad people are. Who are the bad guys? They tell me what is the arc of the story. Is it a tragedy? Right? Is this a comedy? Is it a rom-com? What is it? People are always telling stories. You do it, I do it. We are the main characters in our stories. So one of the things we should be thinking about is this the story we want to be telling people? Do we want our lives to be this tragedy that we keep narrating to everybody we meet, to anybody that'll listen? Do we really want to be doing that? Or maybe when we want to change the story and make it more heroic. Maybe all that suffering and all that backstory is just prelude to the hero winning, getting the girl, getting the guy, getting the job, getting the life they want in the end. And maybe there's some funny scenes in there that we can splice in there, right? So I think we need to be very careful with how we narrate, how we script what happens to us. This is something that I think if we put more intention into and more awareness into, we can realize that some of us have stories that we don't really like. And they get old, or people get tired of hearing them. You ever tell a story enough you get tired of telling it? Well, hopefully, if your story is a tragedy, you get tired of telling it. Now, I'm not saying negate the tragedy, negate the bad things that have happened to you. But what I'm saying is, at some point, we need to move forward and go towards better. Okay? So, we want to be much more intentional about how we are narrating our life stories. This is what I want you to think about this week. I want you to think about, how do you explain away what has happened to you in your life? And become much more intentional with the words you use, with how you describe it. Is it a powerful story? Is it a weak story? Is it a heroic story? Is it a brave story? Is it a better story? Is it creative? Is it not creative? Is it just like everybody else's? Are you helpless? Look at the stories you continually tell people. Decide, is this how I want to narrate my life? If it's not, change it. It's all up to you. Thanks for watching this episode of Life with Leif. If you like what you're hearing, if you can tolerate me even just one little bit, hit the subscribe button, and I will see you next time.